Day in and day out, are you operating with a scarcity mindset or are you operating with an abundant mindset? What kinds of questions are you asking yourselves? I think you need to get in touch with this in order for you to transition to that next level in your life and in your business. Hi, my name is Pete Kolash, high performance coach and founder of Operating Excellence. You know, the questions that we're asking ourselves, both consciously and subconsciously, determine the answers that we're capable of surfacing for ourselves. Unknowingly, most people ask themselves very disempowering questions, and as a result, they're putting a lid or a roof on what they're capable of doing in their lives and in their businesses, right? For instance, if you're asking yourself, how am I going to make enough money to pay the rent this month? How am I going to make enough money to pay the bills? If those are the nature of your questions, your reticular activating system in your brain is going to go out and validate that subliminal belief or response that is rooted in scarcity. And I gave you extreme examples just to paint a picture, but that happens in subtle ways every single day to all of us, some more than others. But if you're asking yourself big questions, if you're asking yourself possibility, opportunity-driven questions that maybe make you a little uncomfortable, but that invite you to think bigger, now you've stretched your lid. You've blown open your top on the possibility and opportunity that you can go out and generate for yourself again in your life and in your business as well. And one in particular that I want to share with you that I think has been a game changer for me. The distinction between what does it cost, which is what most people ask themselves, again, either consciously or subconsciously, and what is it worth, right? When most folks are considering making an investment, whether it's an investment of money, whether it's an investment of time, the first thing and maybe the only thing that they consider is what does it cost? How much money is this costing me? How much time is this costing me? And I think what we're missing out on is the very real impact, the opportunistic, possibility-driven nature of the question of what is it worth, right? What is it worth? I'll give you an example. I was in the gym, saw a buddy of mine, great friend of mine, and I had shared with him. I said, you know, I'd heard so many times that the top CEOs and leaders in the world, they read on average about 60 books a year. So I wanted to put that to the test for just 3 months. So in a 3-month period, I was on a 60 book a year pace. And I was telling him, I was like, whoa, what an experience that was. And you know his first question for me coming out of that? He said, how much time did that take? Hey, how much time did that take? In other words, what did it cost? It wasn't, oh my God, you're reading 5 books a month. Like that's an amazing pace. You're absorbing so many ideas and insights, the way your mind is processing words and phrases at that rate. God, how did that show up for you? What was that worth in terms of your approach to your day? What was that worth in terms of how you showed up for your family, your wife and your kids? What was that worth in terms of how you were processing ideas? What kind of impact did that have? Right? And this friend of mine, he is one of the most amazing, just soulful, well-intentioned guys that I know. And it just goes to show you, we are almost subliminally attracted to, rooted in the idea, oh, what does it cost? What does it cost? No, don't get me wrong. We need to be aware of what things cost, but I think we also need to be just as aware as what is it worth? How's that showing up? Right? One other thing I'll share with you quick. This is something that was a seminal moment in my life in terms of just how I was processing things. I was working with a coach, so I was the client, he was the coach. And he said, you know, Pete, a lot of people talk about ROI, return on investment. And he said, rightfully so, it's important. If you're investing anything, time, money, energy, you want to know what are you getting from it? What's your return on investment? He said, I don't think enough people look at the COI. I said, the COI? What's the COI? And he says, it's the cost of inaction, the cost of not taking action or the cost of not doing something. He said, let me give you a very simple example. If you're making, let's say, $20,000 a month, but you know you're capable, whether it's you individually or your business, you know your business is capable of making $50,000 a month, that's a $30,000 a month delta. Over the course of 6 months, that's $180,000 COI, the cost of inaction. I said, wow. And then if you extend that, you know, that's financially, it's economically, it's monetarily, so we understand it because it's clear numbers. But if you start to look at the COI, the cost of inaction, in terms of investing in yourself and how that shows up with your family, how that shows up in your key relationships, how that shows up in how you feel as a man or a woman. Wow, you start to weigh that COI and very quickly it adds up. So again, let's not limit ourselves. Let's make certain that day in and day out, we're not operating from a scarcity mindset, but instead we're operating from an abundant mindset. And we do that. We do that by asking ourselves very intentional questions, big questions, questions that invite us to think bigger than we are, not limiting questions. And the distinction between what does it cost and what is it worth, it's meant the world to me, right? And the idea of looking at COI, the cost of inaction, what is the cost of inaction costing you right now?